all new. AM1150WTMP.com.
All right, here we go. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Never before, and I'm not gonna start the show out any differently than we've done in the past, and not gonna start out with the main topic that I'm gonna end up talking about today. I tell you what, I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit.
Well,
Porch Talk Radio, I'm going to talk about the phone company.
oh boy.
We're going to talk about Apple and AT&T and the fact that, you know, for you guys there on Facebook Live, I got a new phone. This phone was $700.
That's cheap.
I'm just saying. And this is a whole process they could go through. And I had planned to have a different kind of a show today, but I'm gonna talk about something that's hitting me, and I don't want to get all sucked up and tied up and tongue tied and not be able to talk. So let's talk first. This is Porch Talk Radio. I am your host Eddie Adams Jr. This is your co-host Gabriel Phillips. Tim is here, our engineer who's been with us for the whole 10 years that we've been doing this thing.
Right.
So if you want to call in during the show today, this is the call-in show. TMP call-in number is 813-251-9867. 813-251-9867. If you want to call me after the show, during the week, or whatever, and have a conversation about some other stuff that may be going on. My cell phone number, Eddie Adams Jr. cell phone number is 813-12. You guys, girls, kids may recall, I give or take maybe a month ago when I said I came in and I pretty much complained for the first 10-15 minutes of the show about my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working. People are talking in my back pocket. I ain't called them, so I pick it up and folks are having conversations. It's sending text message. It's calling people I don't know. And it's a smartphone. So I'm just making the assumption that evidently, I don't know what it's doing, but somebody or something out there know what this smartphone was doing. Again, I'm ignorant of this because the phone evidently was smarter than I was.
Mm-hmm.
So finally, one of my good friends called, text me and said, he been trying to contact me. My phone ain't working. I text him back from the AT&T store and say I'm trying to get this phone fixed. Now, again, I know this is not a browbeating, land-moving, earth-quaking information, but if you've been through this, you know what I'm talking about. Because I start having phone issues. And finally, my daughter say, well, the thing old as Methuselah, you may need to get another phone. Well, but first, I said, well, let me go see if I can get it fixed.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the AT&T store, which is where I bought the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Never had any issue when I bought this phone. This phone is a 6S.
That's old, Eddie.
Little did I know, they don't make 6S's anymore.
That's a dinosaur, Eddie.
It may be, but again, all I need the phone to do is when I call somebody, let me call them, and when they call me, let me answer the phone. I just started texting this year. So I ain't, been texting. And again, I don't need the phone for that. I'd rather talk to people anyway, for all intents and purposes. So anyway, this device that I got, that before when I changed phones, I got something. I got the biggest thing that was out there. It was modern, it was new, and it did all this stuff. And all I had to do was go to the AT&T store,
Mm-hmm.
and they brought out the new phone, and they sit there and they said something, did some hocus pocus mumbo jumbo, Saddam Hussein or whatever, and and they handed it to me, and it's been working great ever since. Ain't had no problems until a couple of months ago when it started getting its own sense. I guess it did like the machine in 2001. It started realizing it had a mind of its own. It had a personality of its own, and it didn't give a crap whether I controlled it or not. Evidently, I didn't control it. So it got to the point to where it made me so mad, so furious, because people will call me, and I'm trying to slide the little thing over to answer the phone. It won't even let me answer the phone.
Mm.
It won't let me text message. People will be talking, and I can hear them talking, but I can't.
Yeah.
The display went to hell. Now again, I'm only dealing with Apple and AT&T. So when I go to AT&T I took my old phone, and they say, "Oh, well, we don't work on the phone. You gotta take it to the Apple store."
Mm-hmm. Because they gonna deal with it.
You hear what I just said, ladies and gentlemen? They don't work on the phone that they sold me.
Mm-mm.
So, me being not the tech nerd that Tim is, and a few other people I know who deal with this stuff all the time. Again, all I need to do is answer the phone when somebody call me, call somebody, and every now and then text a message. That's all I need the phone for. So, I go to the Apple store at International Mall.
Mm-hmm. Get in line.
No, they wouldn't let me get in line. I went to the Apple store at the International Mall,
Mm-hmm.
and a guy comes up with a tablet
Mm-hmm.
and says, now there's 4 lines there,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot stand in line as a walk-up. They got to give me an appointment to come back 2 days later as a walk-up. Did you hear what I just said? They would not look at my phone. I'm there with it, walked up. I got to get an appointment to come back 2 days later as a walk-up at the Apple store. I know, a lot of you guys, y'all just think I'm just blowing off hot air. I got a lot of stuff going on this week. But on top of all of that stuff. So this was freaking me out. My phone don't work. I can't get anybody to look at it to fix it. So I go home, come back 2 days later, when they tell me to come back, and found out that this was just the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I get in the store with no problem. Because I got an appointment. The person that takes me in the store looks at my phone and tells me, you have, she said something, you got a third-party display. That's what she said.
Oh, yeah, voyage it.
No. I mean, I ain't did nothing to this phone. All I did was pay for it to pick it up and use it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't did nothing to the phone.
But
She said, you got a third-party display. Okay. What do that mean?
you're screwed.
She said it's not an Apple display. I said, okay, I bought it from AT&T. Why would they change the display on the phone?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, sir. So immediately, she starts trying to do the little settings thing. Well, it ain't work for her. It ain't work for me. What make her think it's gonna work for her? And then of course, just cut it off and cut it back on.
Mm-hmm.
Can't cut the damn phone off. I ain't trying to tell you. Hold the little button, and then when they say swipe to cut it off, it don't go off. It won't go off. So we sit there and we play with it. I guess some kind of how finally she's got a laptop, a pad or something, and she said, well, we need to update it.
Ooh.
Okay, lady, do what you want. I mean, you the tech nerd person. I'm here to see if I can get this phone to work or buy another. I'm not against buying another phone. I ain't a pauper. I have some money. Little did I know, the game was rigged.
Uh-oh.
Because it ain't about that.
Mm-hmm.
So she wanted to do some kind of update. So finally, the phone decided, since I was at the Apple store, it took mercy on me. It decided to let her get into the settings.
Mm-hmm.
And she immediately said, well, it needs to be updated, it needs to be this, it needs to be that. Then she said, well, we need to update your display.
Oh, money. Cha-ching.
Yeah, that was like $200.
That's only money.
Now, I still got the same lousy ass phone. Ain't nothing else gonna work any better.
Worse. Yeah, yeah.
So for all intents and purposes, she's gonna fix the display. Now, I ain't mess with the display. It's the same display it came with when it was brand new. I ain't even changed the screen.
How many years old?
I don't know. It's a 6S. So how long that's been around. So anyway, I'm still complaining. So bear with me a little bit. This whole process that I'm talking about had me at the Apple store.
30 minutes?
No. We're at the Apple store for an hour before she tells me and figures out, oh, you need a new phone. All right. Listen to this, people. And I know I'm ranting and raving, but, I got an hour. Listen. I am at the Apple store at the International Mall. And this lady tells me, in order for them to sell me, this is Apple, in order for them to sell me an Apple phone, unless I pay for it cash right now, all of it, I have to go to the AT&T store to buy the phone. The same phone. He took a picture of the phone box. He took a picture of the box and said, show them this phone picture as to the phone you need.
They couldn't help you then.
No, you know what he said? He said, we can't sell you the phone on time.
Ah, got it. No payments.
Right. I gotta pay for the whole thing, even if I pay for the whole $700 right now.
Or run back out there.
Charge it or cash it or something, or go to the AT&T store to buy their phone, the Apple phone, at the AT&T store.
Did you ask him to switch out the screen?
I ain't asking him to do nothing. Now, let me tell you the mystical, magical, great part about this experience. The lady that I've been talking to for the last hour can't sell me a phone.
Mm-hmm.
They got some special highfalutin 20-something person that can sell me a phone. Yeah. So
And she wasn't it.
she wasn't it. That wasn't what she did.
She has to hand you off.
So she handed me off to this person, even though she done said they can't sell me a phone. Evidently, it was his job to say they got the X10.
Yep.
And then the Aura something.
Yep. XR.
XR. Yeah.
That's it.
I don't need the more expensive phone for what I do. All I need to do is call, text, and answer the phone. That's all I need. This is at Apple Store. So she take a picture and say, this is the phone you need. Go to the AT&T store.
Go somewhere else. All right.
Now, these places are on different sides of Tampa. Every time I take one of these
Of course.
trips, you know, it's like
Traffic.
International Malls, Fetcher Fowler. I live in Temple Terrace.
Oof.
You know, these kind of trips. So me being gullible,
Mm-hmm.
trying not to use 4-letter words in my conversations with these people.
Because they're professionals.
Go to the AT&T store, buy the phone. Bought
An XR?
brand new $700 phone.
That's cheap.
The only difference, the battery supposed to be better, and the pictures supposed to be better. Supposedly, that's what they say. So top of the line phone. I get the phone, have my old phone right there. Okay, are you guys gonna put my contacts and my photographs and all my info from this phone to this phone?
Here we go.
I'm at the AT&T store.
Here we go.
We can't do it here.
Ah! Back to the Apple.
We can't do it here. I said, but I did it here before, and everything. But well, you got the 6S, and they don't make that anymore.
Correct.
I say, okay, but you had the software. You could do. Why would all y'all smart behind people have a process that works until all the 6S's were dead? You know, why would y'all get rid of something? Well, we can't do it no more, and they don't make the 6S no more. Now you got to go to the Apple store. Okay, now when I go to the Apple store, I got to get another appointment.
Another 2 days.
I'm at the Apple store with both phones, the new one and the old one.
Mm-hmm.
In line, waiting still dealing with these folks outside.
Yeah.
Not even in the store. They got these waiting areas. And the guy tell me, I said, I need to talk to a supervisor. I need to talk to somebody with some power.
You done.
I am the supervisor. Now, how lucky did I get to get the supervisor from, now he's standing outside, with the little iPad, laptop
was it
thing.
25 age?
Probably 22.
Yeah, probably.
I am the supervisor. Okay. We can't do it here.
Oh!
What we can do, we can have somebody from Apple call you at 6 o'clock this afternoon and walk you through this whole thing. I say, all y'all smart ass people here, nobody here can do that? No, we can't. I'm laughing to keep from crying.
And they're getting paid a lot of money, I need to tell you that.
So I get home, just like I thought. Somebody with a heavy accent.
Hello, how are you?
Who I can't even understand. I knew that was gonna happen. So this person, I gotta ask 3 times, what did you just say? What are we trying to do? Even the person on the other end of the phone could not do this process. Right. They took over my computer wherever he had in Bangladesh or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
He was controlling stuff on my screen, and he said, "Well, you got to download iTunes."
Yep.
I said, "Well, I don't traditionally listen to iTunes, so it's not on my computer." Well, we got to download iTunes. So we downloaded iTunes. He didn't want to wait. Now he on the phone. He getting paid by the hour wherever he at. He in the comfort of his living room, whatever. And he says, "I'm gonna send you 2 files. When you get these files, open them up, and it'll tell you how to do this conversion."
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I still got my old phone. I am taking file by file my old contacts off my old phone and manually putting them in
Oh, man.
my new phone. First started with my favorites, then the people who I talk to on a regular basis, and eventually, probably by the time this phone
Dies.
is old, dead, and gray, I may get half of my contacts from my other phone because people will call me and I didn't have them in my contact list and
Who dis?
and the other thing is, now I'm gonna tell you, smart people are stupid as hell. I'm gonna say that because in the olden days you had like a SIM card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And all I had to do was take your SIM card out of one phone,
Boom.
put it in the other phone, do some kind of crap to it, or either put it in some kind of machine that took it from the old SIM card, put it on a new SIM card, put it in your phone, you went on about your business, and you were happy as pie. They have made it so hard for Eddie Adams Jr. to be happy. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that's going on, but that is so frustrating. And I know none of you guys have had to deal with that. Nobody.
No, you'd be surprised, Eddie.
Just me. I'm on Porch Talk Radio. Been doing this for 10 years, and I mean, considering the amount of money, the number of billions of dollars, and the tech, and all these smart people, and they don't have a way to make it easy for you to buy a $700 phone, $1,200 phone,
Yep.
$3,000 phone, and convert your old phone to your new phone.
Eddie, where you're missing the boat is you're supposed to swap them out every 2 or 3 years. You keep using it because you say, "Oh, it's working." No. You don't understand tech. You're supposed to swap it out every 2 to 3 years just because.
If a brick still worked, I would still have a brick.
Oh my God, I had one of those
If
back
a
in the
brick-
day.
Because of what I need it for. It is utilitarian. It is something that I use and it has a purpose. I don't need it to look pretty. I don't have to have the nicest looking phone when I pull it out. It don't have to whistle Dixie or the Black National Anthem. It don't have to do none of that stuff. All it has to do is when I touch it, come on. All I have to do is make a call. And I know we got a caller. And do what I needed to do, which is very simple. Call and welcome to Porch Talk Radio. I'm still rambling. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello? Are they there?
No.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay, welcome. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you?
My name is Albert Bell. I'm calling from Tampa, Florida, and I just want to piggyback up on a conversation you're having now about the phone.
Yes.
I don't have a big time phone like you have. I just have a Metro phone. I only paid $180 for it, and I only like to pay about $53 a week, a month. But I'm having the same problem that you're having. I sent a text to my pastor, and when I sent a text, I assumed that everything was okay. I didn't text it myself. I just, speak on the phone and text it. And I waited about 2 weeks because I didn't get a response back from him. When I looked at the text, the things that I thought I had put on there was totally different. And in fact, it had a curse word on it, okay? And I called the phone company, and what they told me was that somebody had kept in my line, and I was paying for an extra line. And I told them I didn't authorize that. So they immediately changed the problem, but I don't know how many texts are out there that I sent like that.
Yeah, me either. Yeah.
So I think somebody's tampering with the phones, and you don't know anything about it. Because I definitely didn't pay for an extra line.
But it's
and
so.
I said, well, when did they do it? He said, well, it was done recently.
It's so funny because in the old days, you actually used to have lines. It wasn't macro this and mini that. Like all these new phones supposed to be.
Hello?
Yeah, and another thing that's so funny, why can't the FBI, the CIA, all these folks, if you do commit a crime or something, why they can't get on your phone, but some hiker can get on your phone, charge you a whole nother line, and use your phone. I mean, see what I'm saying about smart people?
Well, my question, my concern is, I pay a lot of bills online, and sometimes I with a credit card, and I put that number out there. So I know somebody's actually, make me skeptical about doing that anymore. Because I know somebody's out there on another line and is actually tapping into my line.
Yeah, see, I never trusted them that much. All I do is keep it simple. Simple phone call, text every blue moon, and answer when somebody call me. That's all I do with my phone.
That's old school, lady.
Nothing else.
Well, I just do a little bit more, but
Yeah.
I just want to piggyback that, appreciate your concern. I'm there too.
Thank you for calling.
Thanks,
We
sir.
appreciate it.
There you go, Eddie.
All right, let's see if we can get on this day in.
Let's do it.
On this day, which is this one. You remember from time to time I tell you we have those days when all kind of stuff happen, and unlike some days you gotta find, you gotta look, and you gotta see if you can come up with some stuff. Not this day. This is not that day. This day has so much stuff going on. It's a whole bunch of stuff I couldn't even mention. Starting with, on this day, April the 3rd, 1513.
It's a while back.
The Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de Leon landed in Florida.
We've never been the same since.
He had sighted the land the day before. So this is the day, for all intents and purposes and all the history, Ponce de Leon, Juan Ponce de Leon, the Spanish explorer, discovered Florida, and the rest is history.
Literally.
Literally.
I think he was greeted by savages at the time, cannibalists.
Well,
That used to be here.
It's like walking down the street and discovering a Cadillac with a pretty woman in it. I just discovered that Cadillac, because when they showed up, on the shores of the state of Florida in the boats, there was already people here.
Mm-hmm. There were. You're right.
Anyway, as we go, on this day, April the 3rd, 1776.
Oh boy, that's a big year.
George Washington received an honorary doctorate of law degree from Harvard College. Now, how many of you knew that George Washington had a law degree from Harvard?
Now, honorary means what?
That means he still got a law degree. That means he didn't sit in all the classes
okay, so I was
and
thinking.
go through all that stuff.
Got it.
But it's still an official degree.
Oh, wow.
that he can take and do stuff with.
I think you can get on the internet now. On
It's
the
a-
new
it's a-
phones,
it's
you
a
can
whole-
order those.
Whole bunch of folks walking around here with honorary degrees. So.
Yeah, that's true.
On this day, 1865,
Hmm.
Union forces, those were the good guys, occupied the Confederate capital of Richmond, Virginia.
Hmm.
So at that point in time, Richmond was the capital of the Confederacy. On this day, 1948, U.S. President Harry Truman signed the Marshall Plan to revive war-torn Europe. It was $5 billion in aid for 16 countries.
That was a lot of money back then, Eddie.
Back in those, what they did was they said, well, we came in, we had a war, we tore up your country. Now we, the only country on the planet, we tore it up, we gonna fix it.
We tore it up from the flow up, and now we're going to give you money to fix it.
That's it. And literally fix it. Literally.
But we were liberators, not conquerors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
On this day, April 3rd, 1968,
Oh, I was around then.
Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his mountaintop speech just 24 hours before he was assassinated. Yep, that's this day.
Wow.
And last but not least, of all the things that could have happened today, 1996.
96, okay.
1996.
Not but too long ago, 25
An
years?
Air Force jetliner carrying Commerce Secretary Ron Brown
Mm-hmm.
crashed in Croatia, killing all 35 people aboard the airplane. Now, some of you people think that was an attempt to kill Ron Brown. The other 35 people kind of got in the way.
Collateral damage.
They were just collateral damage, but the whole thing was set up to kill Ron Brown. A lot of you guys don't know who Ron Brown is, but Ron Brown is the up-and-coming black legislator from California that was associated with Kamala Harris back in the day. Yes.
Okay, some history there.
Gabriel.
You know, folks, this kind of trying to lighten the load always here, you know, because we do this around here. And did you know that if you combine wine and dinner, the new word is winner? Just thought you'd like to know that. Moving along in politics as we go, Fauci told us they had found a variant that evades the test. He wants you to know that you may be sick with an illness and have no symptoms, and cannot be verified with a test to confirm you have it, which is why you still need to wear a mask. Stop and think about that. If you have at least half a brain, that is just crazy. Meanwhile, most all major airlines are now flying at full capacity, no social distancing, which is okay for the public to sit right next to each other on a flight, shoulder to shoulder, literally, but not okay to sit next to each other in concert venue, church, or school. Now who's the retarded one? So as we continue on with the happy news, there was a girl that called emergency, and she called 911, and the girl said, "I just need attention." 911 operator said, "Have you tried posting a selfie on Instagram and adding a Bible verse to it?" The girl thought, said, "I may want to consider that option." You know, folks, sometimes crazy is just who defines it. Meanwhile, San Diego public schools may be closed, but the teachers will be instructing illegal migrant children in person. Why are migrant children a higher priority than the American taxpayer children whose parents pay their salaries? Again, we're just kind of looking at a little bit of stupidity. So, folks, if we look at the COVID vaccine, with just as long as your eyes are open, you can get this. It does not provide lasting immunity. The COVID vaccine does not contribute to herd immunity. The COVID vaccine does not eliminate the virus. The COVID vaccine does not prevent you from contracting the virus. The COVID vaccine will not prevent you from spreading the virus. The COVID vaccine will not prevent you from death. The COVID vaccine will not eliminate the need for travel bans. The COVID virus will not eliminate the need for business closures. The COVID vaccine will not eliminate the need for lockdowns. And the COVID vaccine will not eliminate the need for restrictions on gatherings. And of course, it's not going to eliminate the need for masks. That begs a simple question: what will it do? Nobody knows. Moving along here, trying to make protein shakes lately, but I just keep going out with margaritas. That's the darndest thing. Lawsuit filed on behalf of Los Angeles parents, alleging that the Los Angeles Unified School District and local teachers union damaged the well-being and future prospects of students by delaying the reopening of schools. Parents say they've witnessed their children suffer mental, emotional, and physical harm due to continued school closures. And to all that, the school system says they don't give a damn. Let's see. If you ever want to know who serves the most T-bone steaks in America, it's the Waffle House. The Waffle House serves more T-bone steaks daily in our country than any other restaurant chain. Atlanta happens to have 263 Waffle Houses. I bet you they don't have gyms matching that. Flu for 20 and 21 flu season was 1,822. Flu season for 2019 to 2020 was 38 million. Wow, COVID did a miracle thing there, folks. Isn't that awesome? Let's see here. BLM demands the Masters and MLB All-Star Games are moved from Georgia, which it did. They did move it. Black businesses are going to be losing at least $100 million because white liberals were offended by the rule changes. Again, BLM, run by white liberals, are going to affect black people for the bad. Again, it's just in the DNA of what they keep doing. Meanwhile, this happened last week. Biden taps on Kamala to fix the border. And then on Friday, Kamala spokesperson said, we're not doing the border. Oops, somebody forgot the memo here. So if a white guy kills 6 Asians, it's a hate crime. A Syrian kills 10 white people, it's a gun problem. Sorry guys, don't mean to confuse you. Just trying to keep a perspective. Baltimore schools are broke. The mayor said we don't have enough money to heat our classrooms. Her name is Catherine Poog, Democrat. But then she turns around that same week and says, I'm committing $100,000 to send Baltimore students to protest for gun control in our nation's capital. Same person, Democrat. So common sense doesn't always seem to quite fit that. Meanwhile, China pushes coronavirus as the biggest threat to Americans. Climate change is the biggest threat to Americans. White supremacy is the biggest threat to Americans. What's the biggest threat to Americans? China. Fauci taking all the credit towards fixing this issue with getting the vaccines out. He had nothing to do with that, that's okay. Getting the pharmaceuticals in line. Fauci has not contributed a single thing to the effort of the pandemic. And all those calling for Father's Day to be changed because they're offended by that phrase, and call it Special Persons Day. You already have a day of your own. Called April 1st. That's it for me.
All right, all right. I got a couple people who keep texting me, because they think there's something more important, and I should be talking about something else.
Mom?
I'm gonna tell. They don't even know my mom passed this week.
That's it.
The issue, and that's what I'm talking about now. This week I lost the most important person in my life. Now, I don't know about you and nobody else out there, and George Floyd and all the other stuff that's going on
Oh, yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
The most, and I didn't start out with this because I didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
end up crying on the radio program, because Rosalie was the most important person on this planet to me.
Mm-hmm.
My mom had 5 kids. She sacrificed. She had an 8th grade education. And you would not believe what my mom did with an 8th grade education. Because I have a master's degree. I got a sister that has a nursing degree. I got a brother that went to DeVry University. He went to get an engineering degree. And I got a couple of siblings that's no longer with us. But my mom raised all 5 of us, worked 2 jobs most of my life. And like I say, a lot of you people out there don't have a clue.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody have people who are important to them. And as you notice, I don't come on the radio every week and try to talk about all the national headlines and all the people that everybody else is talking to, because, you know, sometimes that crap just ain't important.
Correct.
So we won't be here next week, because next Saturday we having, me and my family having my mom's going home service.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
It's not gonna be a funeral, because that's, if you know my mom, that's not how she lived.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a going home party. And my sister has asked us to wear. Now I'm not sure where she got the colors from,
Okay.
but she wants us to wear she wants the males to wear lavender shirts
Mm-hmm.
and the guys to wear gray pants. So I guess I go see if I can find a gray tie. So I will appear appropriate.
So these are happy colors.
These are colors my sister picked.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if my mom told her,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that these colors were important to her, or these colors are important to my sister. But everyone has a mother. And that person, I'm gonna say, you know, for those who, my Facebook friends, I have never in my entire life ever called my mother Rosalie.
Mm-mm.
Never.
No.
Never called my mom Rosalie, especially to her face. Not because I was afraid of her, but that's not who she was to me. And I see kids and I see people who call their parents, you know, by their first name and second name, and talk to them like they,
Trash.
no, like they're their own age, like they're their friends.
Well, same level, yeah.
Not like they are the person who, from very first day of your life,
Taught you how to use a spoon.
loved you, took care of you, did anything and everything that they could do to make your life better. And I may not be talking about everybody's mom,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but
right.
I know for sure
Majority.
I'm talking about my mom. And the fact that, and like I said in my Facebook post, I always called her mom, and she always replied. So I never had an issue with it until Thursday. That's the first time I called mom, and she didn't reply.
Mm-hmm.
And different people deal with death and dying
Mhm.
differently. We won't be here next week because other than my own funeral, my own going home service,
Mm-hmm.
and ain't no telling. I'm not guaranteed to still be around next week.
I'll wear lavender for you, Eddie. Don't worry about it.
It's not anything that could be more important to me, or my sisters, or my brother than this event. I know some people have debates. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I'm obligated to that. Oh, I mean, we had a conversation about surgery. Oh, I had surgery scheduled. They do surgery every day in America. They do surgery every day in the world somewhere.
You know, Eddie, I think you're bringing up an important issue that a lot of people could be listening right now. If your mama's still alive, if you haven't spoke to her in a while, uh, you think that's all right. I'll get to her eventually. I'll give her a call back or whatever. And then one day, as Eddie has discovered this past week, she's not answering the phone. She's not replying. She's no longer with us. Let this be a reminder. Life is sweet. Life is short. Whether your mom was perfect, which I know mine sure wasn't, but she did the best she could with what she knew to do. And here I am today, 57 years later. Eddie's got 67 on me. But again, these ladies that maybe weren't brought up in the best environment themselves, and suddenly they have to be a mama, and they got to make it work, and they refuse to fail. And you find yourself going to school and you hate it. You find yourself eating odd things that you wouldn't normally want to eat that she cooks. And after a while, you begin to change. You get old and the gray hairs show up. And you begin to respect this person. As Eddie has had a relationship with his mom, I know my mom now, a Hispanic mom, that when she calls, I'm on the road.
Something that, my mom, matter of fact, we live right now, my mom's house is on the same street she lived on when she was a little girl. When my mom was a little girl, she had a cow. She was telling me the story. She had a cow named Betsy. My mom had a 400 and something pound pet that she loved like a dog or a cat, and she treated that cow like it was her dog or cat. It went with her. It came when she called. I mean, of course, my mom's a little girl. I didn't see all this, but I know it because these are stories my mom used to tell, and the look on her face when she started talking about Betsy. It's like when you talk about Prince, dog, Tyrone, or whatever you guys name your animals these days, But her cow name was Betsy, and the fact that we still live, the house that my mom has is still on the street that she lived on
As a child.
as a child.
Wow, that's amazing, Eddie. For this day and age.
It's not the same house, but it's the same street. Some that hasn't changed, and some of the stories that went on, and some of the things that I could tell you, I got a text message this morning from a friend of mine from Lake Wales who was born and raised, near us. I mean, a couple of doors down, and we've been friends our whole childhood, our whole adult life. And he was telling me the story about how he used to like to come by our house at Christmas because my mom made sure every Christmas we had a live Christmas tree. Never had an artificial Christmas tree. Little things like that meant something to her. In my entire adult life, I have never had an artificial Christmas tree. And even as a single individual, I always bought a Christmas tree every year and had a live Christmas tree every year, even in my apartment, even when I lived in the dorm. And it's little stuff like that where where your parents imprint upon you. You don't know where they get it from, you don't know why it was important, but it was important. And the fact that my wife, she said, well, that's something she didn't they never, it wasn't a big deal to them. Well, it's a big deal to me. It's been a big deal to me my entire life. And every year, my current family on Thanksgiving Friday, we go buy a Christmas tree. We go buy a live Christmas tree every year because it's something I have done my whole childhood with my mom, and now as an adult, and it will go ahead and it will go forward, and a lot of folks, this is kind of like an old folk tale. You know that something made it happen. You just don't know what. You don't know why you do what you do, but you do it. So, and again, I'm trying to not cry because I got a million thoughts and a million memories, all of them good, about coming up and all the stuff, my mom went through and my family went through, and I remember it, it's kind of like yesterday because again, my mom's house is still on the same street. As a child, my mom worked 2 jobs, so a lot of time when night came, she wasn't home, and I'm the oldest. And in my neighborhood, anybody could whoop your butt. They didn't whoop your butt; they whooped your ass. So if the street light came on,
I remember.
and you wasn't in the yard, so that's the only way, that's everybody had the same street light.
Yeah.
We all stayed on the same street. When that street light came on, you had to be in your yard. You had to be at home. You couldn't be coming. You couldn't be, half a block away down the street. You couldn't see your house. You had to be in the yard. And that was important. Nowadays, a lot of kids don't get that now. They don't. Not only do they don't get it, they don't understand. And we got a caller. Welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this Saturday afternoon. I'm kind of reminiscing, about my mom. Who are you? Where you calling from? And what say you? Hello?
How you doing, Mr. Adams?
I'm doing great.
This owner is out of pregnancy.
Yes, sir.
And I just want, you sitting there talking about your mom, and my mom, I don't well though. But let me, my mom passed now. Let me tell you one thing. From now on, even though she's gone, you're going to think about her every day.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to find, I'm going to tell you, you're going to find comfort. When she's here, she comforts to give you hugs, to give you compliments and advice or whatever. Now that she's gone, you're going to find yourself. Remember, if these years, so remember I told you this. When you go through something and something really hit you hard, you're going to think about something she told you years ago that'll get you through it. So I say that to say this. Her body is gone, but if you had a good mother like I did, she's going to always be with you. So it's okay to cry, but she ain't gone. Trust me, she's still with you.
Thank you, and I appreciate it all, and that's one of the reasons I didn't start the show off because I didn't want to start, even though the phone company.
Well, that kind of pissed you off anybody, Eddie. That was a mess.
Yeah, I didn't want to have the whole hour, me doing what I'm trying to do now is keep from crying on the air as I talk about this wonderful, great woman and all the sacrifices she made. My mom had 5 kids, and all of them made it to adulthood. Some better than others, but that's the nature of children. She did her best. In anything that we are not, is not because my mom didn't put the time, energy, and the effort and make it possible. Because I have a master's degree, and I've written one book, and I could not write a book and do a forward dedication and not have dedicated that book to my mama. I'm just telling you.
Eddie, you're giving respect where respect is due, and you're giving honor where that is due. And you're right about the kids today; they don't seem to have that. They'll just run over their parents or mama like nothing, and they just don't seem to understand all that she carries on her shoulders to get them just to function day to day, and then eventually be adults and be out on their own, hopefully in school and families and all that. Mamas have always been there for us to be able to call upon, and then things reverse. As we get older, they kind of go the other direction, and suddenly we have to take care of them. We have to look after them. We have to keep checking in on them. And that's our responsibility, Eddie, because they did all they could when we could barely before we could walk. They were there.
But the generation that come before us, my mom and her generation, we don't have those people. Mm-hmm. We don't have those type of people around. The best we could do was try to imitate and pass some of that down, and I did, but I didn't get it from the same place she got it from. Mm-hmm. It's like a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. At some point in time, you can't read what the original copy was supposed to be. You're losing something each generation, and it's the responsibility for those who can, to make sure you do the little things. It is not, my mom was never a rich person. The first car my mom got, I bought for her. I was at the University of South Florida and I worked, and I earned enough to buy a car, and I bought me a car, and the next summer I bought her a car. My mama was a grown woman, had been grown for a long time, and had never owned a vehicle.
Okay.
And it's stuff like that, the help where you can. And again, I've never been rich. She's never been rich, so that's not the lifestyle that I am used to. That's not the lifestyle that she's used to. Give your children, give the people in your family the basic good stuff. Because right now, when you look back and you think about, those times, there was some bad times, mm-hmm. but there were some good ones. And there was some basic stuff. Like I said, it took one of my old friends to say, the fact that we had a green live Christmas tree every year. And he came by our house, stopped by every year at Christmas time to smell how a live Christmas tree make your house smell during that time of year. And that's something that will never go away, and that's something that I will never stop doing. Tampa Bay, thank you for bearing with us today. And we won't be here next week, so they're going to play music or they're going to do something. We'll be back the following week, and then we can talk about some of the stuff that you want to talk about, or some of your topics, or some of the stuff that you thought was important to you. Mm-hmm. They just wasn't important. Not to me. Not today. So until 2 weeks from now, when we come back, everybody, Tampa Bay, Eddie, Gabriel, Tim, we love you. See you in a couple weeks. Bye-bye.
God bless.